ladies and gentlemen, brass lovers and music junkies. Welcome back to another episode of Deftal TV. Today we got a guy who can hit high notes clean. They make your car horn jealous. He's not just a trumpet virtuoso, he's a composer, an arranger, and let's be real, probably the only guy, the one and only guy, who can make a brass instrument sound smoother than any morning coffee. This man has played it all, from the glitzy stages of Las Vegas to cruise ships where the audience had no escape, literally no escape. He's got chops that could wake up Sinatra and an ear for arranging that turns any band into a powerhouse, a super band. But beyond the talent, he's also my good friend, which means to say I got a lot of things and some stories he probably doesn't want me to share. So grab your favorite drink, sit back, and get ready for some music talk, some laughs, and maybe even a little trumpet wisdom from the one and only Mr. Chandler Judkins. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ryan Cabildo, and guess who I have here at Deftal Studio? The one and only Mr. Chandler Judkins.
Hello.
How you been, man?
Great.
You've been like all over the place. I mean, literally flying all over the place, right?
I travel a lot.
Yes.
I travel a lot.
Where were you last week?
Last week I was in Barbados,
Yes. And then tomorrow you'll be heading where?
heading to Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So you've been recruiting a lot, right? For Windish.
Yeah, for Windish Entertainment, we're doing auditions, January, February, and March.
Yep.
It's kind of the season for auditions.
And tell me a little bit more about Windish.
About Windish Entertainment? All right. Well, Windish Entertainment is founded by Michael Windish and located in Westchester, Pennsylvania, which is a suburb of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And the company's been around, I'm going to get this wrong, but for a while, we'll say that. I know it's north of 10 years, I think around 15.
Wow.
And so it's a company that does full-scale production shows, working with partners at amusement parks around the country, and as well as a partnership with Holland America Cruise Line. And we have performers on all of their ships at all times, 365 days a year in different capacities.
What is your position in that company? Is it more of a A&R? Like
I would say I'm a music manager, and I'm managing all the performers on two of our particular ships where we manage all the performers all across the strip. I'm sorry, the strip. I'm in Las Vegas. All across the ship.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a very big.
Yeah, but I'm also it's more than that. We're all a little bit all hands on deck, but so I also help and assist with recruiting, with auditions, with casting, and then also as a music director at some of the parks.
Wow.
Mostly during the summer, but year round.
Chandler has helped my company, Definitive Talents, to where it's at by, being an MD. Wrote great charts for, most of my bands and, had really uplifted our lounge acts into showroom acts, some salsero and other things that we have done.
Salsero was amazing,
Yep.
and we had a lot of good times. Had
Yep.
a lot of good acts, good
Yep.
performances,
From South
really
Point
great stuff.
I do get some questions for you,
Okay.
and I really formulated this last night because
Okay.
I want to hear your answers on this because it's really like nice to know who built Las Vegas in this corner of my world, on our world, right? So your journey in music has taken you from Las Vegas to cruise ships and beyond. What initially drew you to the trumpet, and how did your musical path unfold?
Okay, we're going back.
Yep.
I'll try to keep it brief. When I was in middle school, you'd get that choice where do you want to choose band or choir or whatnot. And previous to that choice, just for the very simple fact that my dad played trumpet and my grandpa played trumpet, I just wanted to play trumpet. It was as simple as that. And they didn't keep up with it or anything past high school or college. But for whatever reason, I just wanted to play trumpet. So it wasn't really a choice that I really had to make conscientiously. It just was kind of in the cards, I suppose. So that's how I got into it, and then I was just like any other kid going to band, and it was just part of your life, but not a significant part of your life. And then there was a point in high school where I started taking lessons because I was in a very small town. There was no trumpet teacher available, and a new band director came to the middle school who was a trumpet player. And so I started taking private lessons from him, and I do recall it was $6.50
Wow.
for an hour, maybe half hour, I don't know.
Yeah.
But he was a good role model and really showed me what I needed to be looking at, what I needed to be practicing, introduced me to Wynton Marsalis, who's the GOAT. And around that same time period, he had just formed Jazz at Lincoln Center, and they were doing a tour. So I went and saw them, a full big band, perform, live, and that kind of changed my life. So after that night, I started practicing, vigorously every night. Kind of became obsessed with it.
So it's an obsession that turned into a career.
You could call it that. Yeah, definitely.
You studied both classical trumpet performance and jazz studies at UNLV. How have those different disciplines influenced your playing and arranging style?
Well, I think it's important to have a good foundation to learn the fundamentals of your craft, whatever that may be. And while you can learn things, instinctively or on your own, and sometimes there's a lot of merit to that, I think that having that foundation of proper teachers and kind of learning all different scopes of the trumpet studies, as well as music and general theory, et cetera, and also being in that environment with a bunch of your peers that you're kind of learning together and networking is also extremely valuable. So I think that springboarded me into. I started working professionally here on the Las Vegas Strip while I was an undergrad at UNLV.
You
a
were
long time ago. So it kind of
recruited,
assimilated right into the city in my case.
Yep.
Yeah,
How
kind of
long
springboarded me.
have you always lived in Las Vegas?
No, I grew up in Utah, and then I came here when I transferred from Snow College,
Okay.
which is in central Utah.
Yeah.
And then I transferred to UNLV, which I think I was in UNLV for 5 years.
And you got great teachers there.
Yeah.
Legends, you know what I mean?
They really are, yeah. Shout out to David Loeb.
Yep.
Yeah, and Bruce Paulson.
Legends, man. I'm
Great
telling
guys. Yeah, they were very formative, for sure. A lot of respect.
You've worked as a performer, arranger, and music director. Which role do you enjoy the most, and how do you balance them in your career?
Oh, gee. Well, that's the million-dollar question. Yeah, I have a lot going on. I enjoy everything I do. I'm really grateful to have my life and lifestyle and my career. That being said, it's a lot of different hats, and there's a lot of variety, and I'm juggling a lot of things. The thing I do, definitely personally enjoy the most is performing. That's kind of the name of the game. That's what we're all here to do, in front or behind the scenes. But being on stage and performing music, performing art, playing for an audience, that's definitely a thrill. And also playing with a great band. And when it all comes together, it's cohesive and everybody's serious and on their game, but also fun. And it's an amazing combination. And I'm really blessed to be able to experience that very regularly because I tour nationally with 3 different acts.
And still touring.
Privately. Yeah. Full, robust schedule. It's more robust than it's ever been, quite frankly. So
you'll be here.
That's the million-dollar question: is how do you juggle that? And it does take some understanding from some of those entities to that we're all trying to balance our schedules and do our best and in good faith. But yeah, you just kind of have to do your best and try to be everywhere at the same time.
Speaking of touring, you've been touring with Tommy Ward, which will be here. He will be here on May 9th at Aliante.
Can't wait.
Are you excited?
I'm very excited. I haven't had a gig in Las Vegas in 8 years.
8 years?
8
That
years.
long, huh?
Over 8 years.
Yep, you work with.
So it's very exciting.
A lot of prominent
I've been
people.
back.
Yeah.
I've sat in, but I haven't. Oh, I have. We had a corporate gig at the Wynn.
Yeah.
Edit that out. We did a corporate gig at the Wynn a couple of years ago.
Yes, but you were with Victor too when I saw you when you came here.
Man, see, it's all a blur. Third time. This is my third gig since I left. I did the Blues Bender last fall
Yep.
at the Westgate with Victor Wainwright and the Train.
Yeah.
A whole week I just forgot about.
Chandler, you're also touring with Chicago Tribute, the Chicago Tribute Band, which it's a big band, like full horn section.
They're amazing. They're from New York City. I've been touring with them for like 7 years, 7 years at this point. Ever since I moved to the East Coast, I was really fortunate to kind of slide into that as like a sub, become part of that band, part of that family. Doug Wolvestrom is the first, like it's his gig, but whenever he tours as well with a really big act, and so we kind of split up those dates the best we can and try to make sure one of us covers it.
So East Coast, West Coast, Midwest.
Mostly East Coast. Mostly East Coast.
Yeah.
Sometimes it could be anywhere, wherever the gig is, it is. So, but we do tend to mostly work on the East Coast. Yeah.
Well, we're changing that. You're going to West Coast.
Hell yeah.
Okay, what was your most memorable experience performing in Las Vegas, and how does the city's vibrant music scene compare to other places you have played?
Well, the music scene here is very, very special. And when I left Las Vegas, I was so used to this. I was here for 15 years and knew it very well and intimately. So moving to the East Coast was a bit of a culture shock. It's very different, but also a lot of positive traits about the music scene out there. And that's kind of a blanket statement that the whole East Coast is a big place. You kind of have these pockets and networks, but at the same time, it's also very cohesive. I mean, from where I am in Wilmington, Delaware, I'm in the Philly network and in the Jersey network, even Atlantic City is kind of all attainable. It's all reachable, even all the way up to New York City. And I've worked in New York City, Connecticut, and I have roots in Connecticut as well. So it's an interesting kind of thing. There is a scene to the whole area, but there's also pockets where it changes a little bit. But there's a lot of fantastic attributes about the music scene out there. The culture is very strong. I think people really appreciate and support live music. If they see live music at a restaurant, they flock to it. They're kind of drawn to it. They love going out to see shows and concerts, and they also are like feel the music at a deep level. So there just seems to be a strong culture for live music, generally speaking, on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm. And here in Vegas, it's a mixture of everything, right? It's like a cauldron of everything.
It's just a little. It's a little different.
It's different.
It's
Yes,
a little
it
different.
is. It's fun and different.
It's different. When I became introduced to the wedding band scene in the East Coast, I had heard about it, but didn't realize how real and how strong that is and that culture
And
is.
how profitable
It's
it is.
profitable. It's amazing. It's really amazing.
Yep.
So yeah,
Yep.
it's fantastic.
Your website, Charts for You, offers professional music charting services. What inspired you to create this platform, and what sets your arrangements apart? Well, hold on before you answer that. He makes great arrangements.
Thanks.
Unbelievable.
Thank you.
From Vegas Super Band experience to like the stars now, you wrote charts for Earl. Well, who else, right?
Oh yeah, I've been writing for Earl Turner for years.
Yep.
Shout out to Earl, great guy, great friend too. Well, I write for guest entertainers on cruise ships, many from Vegas, as well as bands and singers all over the country on the regular. So that's kind of something I can do during the day, whereas I tend to tour on the weekends. Yeah, it's been something I've been doing for several years and have written, at this point, multiple hundreds of arrangements.
And
of all
quality
different.
work. Quality work. Your library is amazing.
Thank you.
And
Didn't start off that way.
and it's written for like
Recently got better.
a lot of like the writings is in like what 3-piece, 5-piece orders.
Yeah, typically we're looking at four rhythm,
Yeah.
and then the horn section can vary. Usually 3, but I also do 5 and 6 horn combinations, and sometimes bigger.
That is from Sinatra to Bruno Mars, all of the hits, right?
Pop music,
Pop music.
jazz, a lot of Sinatra, things like that. I also write for Windish. Shout out to Windish, and arrange all of their shows when they need that service done.
Yep.
Yeah, so been able to write, arrange, produce a lot of really spectacular
Yep.
production shows for Windish Entertainment. So that's been kind of a combining of those two worlds in a good way.
You are the maestro when it comes to a lot of this big band work.
This interview is really good for my ego. I got to tell you.
And
My-
we can't wait for
my
you
morale.
to come back, man. It'll be great.
Thank
that,
you.
know, to see you back on stage and doing what you're doing what you do best and loving what you do best. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
And,
Yeah.
And everyone's lucky to follow their heart, but I think you're more luckier because you get to see the world. As what you said, you were just in Barbados the other day, last week.
Yeah, I mean, obviously cruise ships, that's what they do. They travel the world.
Yeah.
So having been a part of Windish Entertainment for the last 5 years, I've been really fortunate to be able to travel and see lots of parts of the world. Been to, Europe several times and a lot of different islands, Panama Canal. I don't know. I'm going to forget if I try to start thinking of all the places I've been, but it's been pretty cool. Wonderful opportunities.
The trumpet is known for its technical challenges. What's your approach to maintaining and improving your skills over time?
I only chuckled because I understood the question, but the first thought that came to my head, and every trumpet player said, is, yeah, trumpet's a bitch. It's so unrelenting, unforgiving, and merciless, and physical. But and it's caused me a lot of anguish over the years, trying to maintain. I mean, maintain is one thing, growth is another. So just trying to maintain chops and stamina and range and good tone is a job in and of itself.
It's like an athlete. If you don't really,
I have to be very diligent,
Yep,
and I have to do. I figured out some hacks and some things that I do that have worked.
Yep.
Some kind of like workouts and calisthenics for your face, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I have to stay on top of it. I can't get sidetracked. I can't let days pass without putting the horn on the face if I'm in between tours or in between gigs.
Yeah, you just need to have that muscle right all the time, right? It's like,
You can never take it for granted. It will disappear.
It will? It does?
Within days, yeah.
No kidding,
Oh,
within
yeah.
days?
Yeah, days.
Wow, it's very, very strenuous then, huh? If you could collaborate with any musicians,
Oof.
past or present, who would it be and why?
Well, I mean, I suppose bucket list kind of thing for me would be, it's dreaming, but, to play with like Jazz at Lincoln Center, play in that big band, and some other big bands too. Michael Bublé's big band, and some of the great salsa bands, like some of my favorites, like Bambaleo, the timba bands out of Cuba. Like that would be a dream come true to kind of sit in or play with those guys, do a set or a gig. Even Mark Anthony's band. Chicago.
Yep.
Chicago would be one of the big dreams.
Of course.
I already know all their music. Hi, Chicago. I
already
already have it all memorized.
Charts in front of you.
That would be an ultimate for sure.
One thing so unique about you is like because of that you mentioned the Latin culture.
Yeah.
You understand that very, very well. Not everybody can adapt to that. You basically wrapped yourself around it. When we were like doing Salsero, you were one of the most prominent musician in Michito Salsa Orchestra. We basically, if you take a day off, it's hard for us to
I don't know
do
about
the
that.
gig.
I don't know about that, but salsa music is something that I put a lot of time into, like in my 20s and early 30s, and really studied. And I don't know, I'm just really passionate about it. I really love it. That's what I listen to, like at the gym. So I tend to listen to
No kidding,
yeah,
huh?
Cuban
That's really like your
Cuban timba. Yeah, that's once in a while I make it. Once in a while I get down there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love that stuff. I wish I played it more often. Yeah.
Well, life has been great, Chandler. You have been great, and
You're a great friend. Thank you, Ron.
You're still a great person inside and out. One of my favorite person whenever he comes in town is Chandler Judkins because he never forgets to call me up and say, "Hey, man, what you doing?" And I guess that's who you are. You were built that way because last night you were at Monday's Dark. Just to say hello to some of our friends. Kevin. Hi, Kevin.
Yeah. Shout out to Kevin.
You're next, Kevin.
Yeah, shout out to Monday's Dark. I used to be in that band.
Yeah.
I forget how long it was, but 4 or 5 years or something. Yeah.
It's so funny that Nelly and Larry Liso from Tony and the Lady was here this afternoon, and they just mentioned a few names, and you were like injected in them almost every. Yeah, I know that circle. You know that circle. You know what I mean? It's like
Look, this town's growing, but it's
Yeah.
still a small town, and it's a loving community,
yeah,
and everybody kind of tends to know each other. So
That's awesome.
we knew a lot of the same people.
I never ever burned bridges in this town, right? I never burned any bridge.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, we're somehow connected to each other, somehow, right? Well, ladies and gentlemen, on May 9, Tommy Ward will be here, and our musical director will be Chandler Judkins. So invite them to Aliante on May 9.
Absolutely, please come, because if nobody comes, it won't be as fun. Please come out May 9th, Aliante. I used to live in Aliante.
Yes, no.
Yes, I had
No.
a house there right
Yep.
right before I moved out of town.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we call
so
it Canada Vegas.
yeah, that makes
no-
sense. It's way up in the north. Yeah.
But it's a beautiful
Yeah.
venue, lots of great seatings, and the tickets will be on sale at Ticketmaster. And by the time this is released, probably it's on Ticketmaster. It's called Tommy Ward. The classic sound of classic crooners.
Yeah,
That's gonna be a great.
yeah.
show.
Tommy's one of my dear friends. We're
Yep.
like,
Give me a hint on what's
yeah,
gonna
let
be
me,
played
let me
at.
tell you about it. I mean, he grew up here in Las Vegas, went to Las Vegas Academy, and we met when he was in high school.
Quincy Jones endorsed.
He got signed with Quincy Jones right out of high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's been carrying on his career and has some amazing big band productions and a lot of exciting stuff. Now we're touring with his own show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once again, thank you very much, Chandler.
Thank you.
Appreciate this time.
Thank you.
This is like refreshing when I see you here in Las Vegas. Keep on coming back, okay?
Okay. We'll get that ramen.
All right. Thanks again. This is Ron
All right.
Cavildo
Thank you.
signing off.